One of my subscribers asked, how do I download and install the app you're using to record videos, even to stream them? I got thinking, this hasn't been updated in a while. So why don't we talk about how to download and install OBS Studio for Windows. OBS Studio supports Windows, Mac, and Linux. We're going to focus on Windows, and you need to be at least on Windows 8 for OBS Studio to work. Open your web browser, search OBS Studio. You should see a link that says OBS, Open Broadcaster Software, and within that, download. Click on that download link. So if you do have at least Windows 8, click on the download installer and save it to your computer. From there, we're going to open it. Once you've opened it, you can click on next and go through the installer, and after a couple moments, it'll complete. Now you can launch OBS Studio, and as soon as you open OBS Studio, it's going to pop up with a wizard, and you can click on yes to begin the wizard. When the wizard opens, if you're going to just record and not stream, select the second option. We'll go through the first option in a moment. Unless you're running a really old computer, you should be able to run this at 1080p or 1920 by 1080 and set the FPS to the highest possible rate to 60 frames per second. If you do have a slower computer, you can make the adjustments and use 30 frames per second instead of 60, but I still highly recommend using 1920 by 1080 for recording purposes. Let me know in the comments if this video is helping you getting started with recording and even streaming your own videos. After you made your changes, hit next. The wizard will complete and will display your recommended options. Click on apply settings, and that'll be it for the recording piece. Now, if you want to stream, we can simply go back to tools and then auto configuration wizard. This time, we're going to choose optimize for streaming and hit next. I'll use the same settings as before, 1920 by 1080 and 60 FPS, and I'm going to hit next. By default, OBS is going to choose Twitch as the default service. Connect account, put in your Twitch name and password, and then put in your two-factor authentication if it comes up. OBS will now ask if you want to perform a test on your hardware as well as your network, and hit next. Okay, the test is complete and I can apply the settings. Let's close stream information and chat. Let's say you don't have Twitch, but you have YouTube, but we'll go through that setup as well. Go to Tools and Auto Configuration Wizard. Same thing, set it for Optimize for Streaming. Next, I'll change the base resolution again to 1920 by 1080 and the FPS to 60. Again, use your own settings here. And next, change the service to YouTube/YouTube Gaming. And in this case, you're going to put in your stream key. Go to the Get Stream Key button. You may need to sign into YouTube again. And after you've done that, scroll down a little bit to the bottom and you should be able to get your stream key there. You can either copy it or type it in. Do not share it with anyone. And once you've done that, hit next and apply the settings. OBS has many features. What we're going to do is we're going to add the webcam that's connected to this PC. To do so, on the bottom left of the sources section, there's a plus symbol. Click on that and I'm going to select C922 Pro webcam that I've got connected. Now, if you have a DSLR cam connected, that should be listed there as well. If the camera settings look off to you, you can click on Configure Video and make some adjustments. If you've made any adjustments, click on Apply and then OK. Since I haven't made any adjustments, I'll just click OK. If you'd like to change the resolution type, where it states device default, you can change to custom, and then you'll be able to change the resolution. Note, this is the resolution of your camera. I'm going to set it to 720p since this camera or webcam is more designed for that resolution. And I'll also change the FPS to 30 just to compensate for light. No additional changes are needed for my webcam. I'll click OK. We'll go into settings, go to output. The recording format section, I would change it from MKV to MOV or MP4. The reasons are, one, it's easier to share with family and friends or people you want to send it to. The second is if you want to upload it to YouTube or any platform like that, MOV and MP4 are supported. And the third is if you're using editing tools such as Premiere or Final Cut or anything like that, it's easier to make changes and that software is more compatible. If you use MKV, you won't be able to import it into Premiere. I can guarantee you that, at least as of this recording. I'll choose MP4. If you have a NVIDIA graphics card or video card, I would leave the encoder set to hardware NVENC or NVIDIA encoder. That way it does not tax your CPU, especially if this is going to be a single PC streaming setup where you're gaming. You need as much processing power as you can for your games and let your graphics card do the work. Go to audio. In audio, the sample rate by default is set to 44.1 kilohertz. If you're using a video recording software such as Premiere, it prefers a recording rate or sample rate of 48 kilohertz. If you are using a 2PC setup, it may be recommended to change it to 48 kilohertz on the PC you're recording from. Otherwise, you can leave it as 44.1 kilohertz. For your speakers and microphone, it's recommended to leave it as the default setting unless you're having an issue where for whatever reason Windows is changing your audio devices randomly, then you may want to specify your microphone or your speakers here. For most people, that shouldn't be the case. So with that, we can go to video. In the video section, the base or output resolutions will be set by the wizard. Now for me, I manually changed them to 1080p, so 1920 by 1080. So you may need to click in there and type it in. Now, if you're having an issue as far as stuttering, you may want to dial it back down to 720p, at least the output resolution. Under downscale filtering, you can change it to 36 samples or Lansrows. However, if you do that, it's going to take a more graphics processing power. Whenever you're recording or you're streaming, if you start seeing an alert that says encoder overload, that's a sign you may need to make an adjustment and change it back to bicubic. The common FPS values will be set based off of the setting or the wizard where you were presented the option 30 or 60 FPS. So if you set it to 30 FPS there, then I would leave it as 30 FPS here. This should be no more than 60 FPS. In the advanced section, the only thing you may need to change is the color space and the color range. If you know what they are, make the changes. So for me, it's supposed to be set to 709 and the color range is set to full. But for some, you may just want to leave it as the default. Play around with it, experiment. You'll know if your colors are more watered down. And if they are, you may need to make an adjustment in the color space. There are more experimental options further down under network. So there's two options to look at: enable network optimizations and enable TCP pacing. I haven't ventured into this section too much, so I can't make any recommendations here, but it's up to you if you want to try it out for yourself and see if you see any improvements. If you've made any changes, apply them and then hit OK. And you may be prompted to restart OBS. As I change the sample size, I'm going to choose yes. Now we'll just run a quick recording of a video through OBS.
I'm recording a video.
And now I'll just open the video just to confirm I can hear myself.
I'm recording a video.
At any rate, I'll close this recorded video. And if you wanted to start streaming at any point in time, you can click on the Start Streaming button. Now let's say we want to capture our desktop. On the bottom left of Sources, click on the plus symbol and then go to Display Capture. You can type in a name, whatever you want. I'll just choose Display Capture and I'm gonna hit OK. Now this looks like this because I'm capturing the same screen. So it's the same monitor, and this is actually on a single monitor, single PC setup. If I had two monitors, I would be capturing the second monitor, whereas the first monitor will be, my chats, my logging, etc. I'll click OK. Now, in the sources section where it states display capture, you can hide what you're displaying here by clicking the little eye symbol, and it will go into a hide mode. If you are streaming, you'd want to have your video capture device or your webcam set to the top. That way it's on top of your desktop or of the monitor that you're capturing. So to move it, you just click and then drag it to the top. And once you've done that, you'll see that it is actually top of the game or the video that you're capturing. Now let's say you want to capture just a window or an app or a game only. To do that, you click on the plus symbol and then go to window capture. Let's say I want to capture Chrome, but I don't see it here. So in order for it to show up, I actually have to open Chrome, close this window capture, and then go back into it. Now I make a mistake here trying to open up another window capture, only to realize that I've got it listed already. So I'll just cancel this, and I'm going to right click on the window capture and then go to properties. Now I can change it to Chrome. I use Chrome as an example, but let's say you wanted to load a game like Fortnite or COD, or let's say you want to capture Premiere or anything. You need to make sure that that window's been open first before adding it to this section here. As long as the app or game is open, you can then add it here. So once you've done that, you can click on OK. I'm just going to resize this window. And if you notice, the window capture is actually now on top of the video capture. Now I'm going to move the camera to the top of the sources, and I'll readjust the position of the webcam in the display here. One final note, window capture only seems to work on a single PC setup and more used when you have two monitors. That way you're in control of what you're sharing, what you're not. When you have a streaming PC capturing from a gaming PC or your primary PC, then you can't use window capture. You have to make sure you're in control of that at all times to ensure you're not sharing things that you're not supposed to be sharing. So just little words of advice as you go through this process. And that's a wrap. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. And if you didn't, you can give me a thumbs down if you want. But if you do, just let me know what you think I should have done differently and how the video can be improved. I'll take constructive feedback. Also, if you want to see more content like this, and if you want to see a Streamlabs OBS version of this, let me know in the comments and hit that subscribe button. That way I'll know you're interested in those types of videos. With that being said, guys, have a good one. Take care.